Don't take that. Don't take that. I want the one about Daft Punk. Daft Punk.
Let's look at silly videos. Let's look at silly little videos tonight. We're gonna do a silly little YouTube night. Cause honestly, there's no good games I want to play tonight. And Charlie was like, no games. I was like, okay, true that. So, no games. Let's look at videos. Daft Punk? That's gonna be super copyrighted as hell. That's gonna be like super copyrighted. I love Breath of the Wild. I've been playing Breath of the Wild so much, bro, like crazy.
Did you know you could break or melt snowballs in Breath of the Wild for a chance to find ores inside of them? Well,
I didn't know that.
If you like learning about Zelda
That's
trivia,
crazy.
then you came to the right place. Here are 16
I
more
didn't
useless
know
facts
that.
about the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Bro, I've been grinding this game so much. How many hours do I have in it? I have more than 60 hours now in it, which is not a lot, but like I barely started playing it like a month ago, I think. Like when did I start it? When did I start playing this game? When did I start playing Breath of the Wild? Because I've had Breath of the Wild for a long time, but I never actually like fully grinded it because I had it for a while. Then I never really played it a lot because in the beginning you have to get a like you can't really go anywhere, right? Because you need a paraglider, right? Because without the paraglider you can't really go anywhere because you need to go around the entire map, and to get the paraglider you gotta do a bunch of other stuff. And I found that really boring. I was like, nah, this is boring. So I left the game. I didn't touch the game for like a really long time. And then I was like, one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up the game. Why not make noise in the beginning soon? I don't know. I always do that. So I can't. And then one day I picked up the game and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually like. What you exactly click? I don't know. One day I picked it up and then I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna like. Shadi, I don't know what you're talking about. You distracted me. What are you talking about? Okay. I picked it up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually play it. I'm gonna actually beat it and get the paraglider. And then once you get the paraglider in the game, it starts getting so addicting because now you can go anywhere. Because the Breath of the Wild is like super big, bro. It's a giant open world game. I know, Shadi, I literally do that every single stream. Every time I open the streams, I literally just make noises, random noises, bro. I literally always see that, Shadi. Like, Shadi, you're tripping, bro. You're like on some Marilyn Manson right now. You're tripping. Let's watch this.
Probably did not know. Number 2. Oh, and nope, that's not a typo. The first one was at the beginning of the video. It was just a really quick fact. Don't want to waste anybody's time, you know. Anyways, did you know that the music in the game gets quieter when you're crouching? As a demonstration, here's what it sounds like when Link is standing in Hateno Village. And here's what it sounds like when Link crouches.
Wow, I did not know that at all. That is completely useless. That is completely useless.
Number 3. It's pretty common to pick up a weapon in Breath of the Wild and just start wailing on enemies with it without taking a second to appreciate its design.
That's exactly
One
what
such
I do.
weapon like this is the one-hit obliterator from the DLC.
Whoa.
Have you ever wondered why it has 4 prongs on it? Well, that's because the tips are decorated with the heads of the divine beasts. The elephant, the lizard, the camel, and the bird. Number 4.
Fire.
One of my favorite objects in Breath of the Wild is the Stalnox Eye, which you can steal by shooting a bomb arrow directly into the eye.
You can steal
of
his
a
eye?
Stalnox. I mean, listen to these sound effects. Who doesn't love that?
It's
In fact,
jiggly.
it appears that the monsters in Hyrule agree with me. If you bring a Stalnox Eye to a fight, enemies will treat it like any other throwable object and use it to try and hurt you.
What the heck?
Number 5.
That's
You
cool.
ever have those moments where something like clicks in your head and you think, I should have noticed that thing sooner? Well, I just had that happen recently when I was looking at the icon for the Hateno Tech Lab on the map. And I realized that the icon shows a tiny little telescope, which is obviously a reference to the giant telescope connected to the building. And then right after that is when I noticed that the icon for the Shrine of Resurrection is not the same as a normal shrine. It is actually a curved tunnel entrance, which is exactly what you find at the front of the Shrine of Resurrection. It's just one of those things I never stop to look at. Number 6.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever wanted to eat, like, I don't know.
Damn, why do you have 976 rock salts?
Breathing.
Well, last year, El Duende 05 created a video guide on how you can eat weapons, armor, or even key items through glitches, including Hess 2's gift, as demonstrated in this clip right here. Yeah, Link, I don't think that thing was food. You should really think about spitting that thing out. Shout out to El Duende05 for sharing that fact, and
that name means dwarf in Spanish.
Sending me the footage for this video. In fact, if you want to see who shared all the other facts for this video, then you can find that in the description below, where we have everybody's names neatly organized. Look at that. Number 7. In Lanayru Bay, there's a hill called Talus Plateau. Funny thing is, there's no stone talus on Talus Plateau. When you reach the top, there's a Hinox. Somewhere at Nintendo, there is a dev laughing about this. Number 8. Did you know that the design for the Bolson Company is heavily inspired by the Carpenters from Ocarina of Time? The boss from both games even wears a similar striped piece of clothing. Bonus fact. The sign in front of Link's house, when translated, reads Master Link, but there's actually some additional text on the bottom right that many people miss. It reads, presented by Sakurta Builders, which is the Japanese name for Bolson's company. However, it's actually misspelled. In Japanese, Bolson's name is not Sakurda, it's Sakurada. Somehow this little typo just happened to make it past the developers.
Wow.
Numero 9. Fun fact, the sea in Hyrule is not entirely level. As told to me by Friendly Phantom recently, if you sail northeast off the coast of Talus Plateau, there is a spot where the ocean ramps upward. In other words, the sea levels in these two spots are different. Now, in the real world, this is entirely normal for sea levels to change from place to place, but never this quickly. And if you try swim dashing in this weird ramp, then you get some mud from somewhere? I don't know how that works. On the same note, a Reddit user named Yaboy Binkus swam up and down every single river in Breath of the Wild because
that's boring as hell.
I actually don't know. I don't know why he did that. But when he did, he discovered that there are 2 other locations just like this in the rivers around Hyrule.
Up and down?
One in northwestern Strock Lake, which looks like this, and another one northeast of Zora's Domain, which is so broken that it allows Link to do a flip kick. Thanks to Binkus for finding these weird spots, but seriously, man, you need to stop swimming and touch some grass. When is the last time you have been on a flat surface, boy? Number 10. Normally, you can mount a horse by pressing the A button while standing next to it. But if you are extremely impatient, you can mount a horse slightly faster by pressing the jump button next to it. Number 11.
I didn't know that.
Another quirk with horses has to do with teleportation. If you leave your horse on a shrine entrance and then teleport to that entrance, you will spawn pre-mounted on your horse. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Number 12. A few months ago, a user by the name of Bright Fury 4 made a very interesting discovery on the Breath of the Wild subreddit, which, if true, connects the cutscene we see in Memory 8 to Memory 10. You see, in the cutscene for Memory 8, where Link just defeated a bunch of monsters, Zelda says,
"That cut doesn't look too bad, actually. You're fine for now."
And Link's arm has its sleeve rolled up, indicating that that is probably where he got cut. Now, most people don't think too much about it after that, but if you pay attention to Memory 10, you can see that Mipha is healing a wound that is on the exact same arm, meaning she's likely healing the injury he sustained from that massive battle. Talk about really cool attention to detail there. Holy cow. Number 13. I have a very good friend and a speedrunner named Yoshiruns who showed me this one. If you manage to leave the Great Plateau without activating the first Sheikah Tower, then all the other towers in Hyrule will stay deactivated and leave floating objects behind. For instance, this one in Hateno Village normally is a tower full of thorns, but now it's just a bunch of floating thorns that are waiting to be set on fire. Or how about these blocks at the Gerudo Tower, which normally can't be tipped over all the way, but if there's no Sheikah Tower, you can finally, knock them all the way over. It's great. But, of course, this can only be triggered with glitches and would only be possible if you started with a fresh save file. So you probably won't be seeing anything like this in your game anytime soon.
Bro's floating.
Number 14. In my last fact video, I pointed out that you can loot the minerals from the wagons scattered around Hyrule, and that seemed to surprise a lot of people. So although I know this isn't the biggest fact in the world, it's probably a good idea to let you guys know. You can also get free Guardian parts by spawning Cryonis blocks underneath certain Guardians.
You can do that?
You can even use Magnesis to achieve the same effect by nudging these guys with metal objects. And honestly, it's kind of surprising how easy it is to push them over. It must be made of styrofoam or something.
That's
Number
crazy,
15.
man. I didn't know that.
Not all Koroks are created equal. Some of them have a very high pain tolerance. Depending on where a Korok comes from, it will react differently when you try and hit them with an object. If you try hitting a Korok that's inside of the Lost Woods, then they will start shivering uncontrollably. But if you hit a Korok that comes from a Korok seed location outside of the Lost Woods, then they will bounce back.
Bro is traumatized. Bro is shivering.
That is a tough Korok right there, completely unfazed by a near-death encounter with a spoon. Number 16. A tiny and fun detail can be found on the wooden platforms around the Gerudo Highlands. Although it's faded, you can tell that these banners hanging above the platforms have Gerudo typography on them, which can be translated.
Oh, wow. What's that say?
Whoops. Okay, let me flip that around. There we go. Ironically, they all say safety first. Of course, it is kind of interesting that they're written in Gerudo at all. As we see in flashbacks, the excavation process was done by the Sheikah tribe, not the Gerudo. So maybe this indicates that the Gerudo tribe are the ones who put up the platforms, but then the Sheikah tribes are the one who did the actual excavation. Special thanks to fellow Zelda enthusiast Greta for letting me know about that very cool detail. Anyways, I'm going on vacation now, and I'm going to be gone until March 6th.
Oh, that's it?
If you're going to try and
Alright, that was cool. It was funny. Cool little facts. I like little facts of the game, because I like the game. I fuck with the game. I spent 12 years collecting every single Nintendo 64 game. Imagine. God damn. Every single game, bro? That's wild. What else we got? This is alright. After I saw some dramas that went down, kind of lost like interest in his videos. Scroll up. Shotty's texting me through the Discord because you can't talk. This one, how Panda Express makes 110 million pounds of orange chicken per year. I love orange chicken. I love orange chicken.
Sell over 100.
This is the only orange chicken thing I like. I despise anything that's orange. Orange soda, orange candy, orange foods. Anything that's orange, I literally hate it. I hate the color orange. I hate the flavor of oranges. I hate the fruit orange. Everything that is orange, I hate it. I feel it's disgusting to me. I don't know why. Like, the taste of orange is disgusting. I hate the color of it too. I literally hate the color orange. I hate it. Orange is the only color I hate so much. I hate the color orange. I hate the flavor. I hate everything about orange. The only thing in life that I like orange is orange chicken from Panda Express. Because they add some secret, like, panda juices to it, bro.
10 million pounds of orange chicken.
Look at that.
Year. We have
My
Panda
Lord.
Express in all 50 states now. We also have stores internationally in 12 countries. A store on average, we may make over 100 pounds of chow mein every day.
Wow, the chow mein is
80 pounds
amazing.
of rice.
The rice is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The chow mein's what carries it.
You know, a lot of times we're the first.
The chow mein carries it.
For a lot of people in the U.S.
Not really, bro. I got this China buffet over here. It's crazy good. $15 and you just eat whatever you want. Chinese buffet. Num 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 num. Now that's real Chinese food.
Hi, my name's Adrian Locke. I'm the culinary lead at Panda Express. We're here today at the Newport Mall in Jersey City, the location of the first Panda Express.
Nobody go to New Jersey.
This is our walk station in the back of house. It's an open kitchen, so everybody that comes can see what's happening. We're using jet tip burners that go 100,000 and 150,000 BTU.
Nice.
This is our water blancher, where we can par cook and boil vegetables.
Nice.
Lastly, it's our sauce cart. This is all the sauces that we make in-house and our condiments that we're going to be toasting, our aromatics. It's easy, accessible for our cooks as we're making dishes.
Yeah.
Our most popular dish by far
is
our orange chicken.
My God, bro.
It's what we're known
It's
for.
so good.
First thing that we do is we'll make the sauce. First ingredient, we'll have our starch in there, and this will help thicken the sauce later.
It's so
good. This is
good.
kind of like our mother sauce. It's got soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, some ginger, garlic. We're going to add 1.5 quarts of water.
It's so good.
I know it looks like a lot of sugar, but it's for a lot of batches of orange chicken. The next ingredient we'll add is our vinegar. This sauce and this flavor profile, the inspiration is from Yangzhou, China. That's where our founders are from.
Wow.
In that region, there are a lot of sweet and sour flavors, actually. And sometimes it's misconstrued that sweet and sour is just unique to American Chinese food. But in China, there is a lot of sweet and sour flavor profiles.
Well, I've never been to China.
The last ingredient is our natural orange extract.
I hate orange.
Chicken was created by our executive chef, Andy Cow, in 1987.
Oh, wow.
The story
The bite of
goes he
87?
was on a restaurant visit in Hawaii, and
Oh, wow.
he noticed a lot of citrus in dishes, so he got the idea of taking a Hunan-inspired dish flavor profile, and he merged that
The
with
Rammies
citrus
every
flavors,
time.
and
For
that's
real.
how orange chicken was born. First thing
Oh,
we
wow.
want to do is fry it up. It's already been fried once, so this will be the second fry. But you see it's
Damn.
like the little ridges. It's not smooth.
Look how
That
good
holds
it
all the
looks, all
sauce
fried
and
up and
texture.
and
We're gonna
cold.
fry our chicken for 7 minutes.
Yummy.
Finish frying, it's GBD, golden brown and delicious. Next thing we're gonna do is toss it with the sauce. So you wanna heat up your wok till it gets nice and hot. Next thing we'll do is we'll start
The
with our
wok.
aromatics in the wok. Toast
The
the chilies,
wok.
ginger, garlic to bring out the flavors of those
The
aromatics.
wok.
The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add cooking wine. This is for flavor and aroma. You'll flash off the cooking wine so the alcohol gets cooked off.
Nice.
And then now we're gonna add our orange sauce.
Oh,
Looks good right
yeah.
now, but once you bring that to a boil, the starch is gonna activate and it'll thicken the sauce. The sugars are starting to caramelize a little bit, so go ahead, toss our orange chicken in,
Oh, Lord.
and I'll turn the heat back on and toss it with the sauce.
Oh, Lord.
Last step is to add sesame oil for finishing.
Oh, Lord.
Sesame oil, it's commonly used in Asian cooking. It's really good for that aroma of sesame, but it also adds a nice shine to the dish as well.
Oh, Lord.
This store, on average, does about 120 pounds of orange chicken a day.
Oh. I can eat
We serve American
120
Chinese
pounds.
food. When American
orange chicken
Chinese
a
food
day.
started, Chinese cooks were using ingredients that they could find on hand and trying to adapt. And ultimately, we wanted to make flavors that were inspired by Chinese origin, but accessible
For
to our
real.
guests as well. Over time, it's really now its own regional cuisine, American
Nice.
Chinese food. Add our cooking wine again.
Nice. I'll be honest, bro. The rest of the meals they have in Panda Express, I don't really like them. Like this beef thing with the veggies, it's like kind of mid, my boy.
5
Really.
years to develop. It's a Taiwanese dish.
5 years to develop fucking mid, bro. It's not that good.
And
I'm
how
gonna
it's
be honest,
typically
man.
served is you get a whole steak that's served on a sizzling plate with rice. Your
I
Angus
don't really.
sirloin steak.
Kind of mid, my boy. Kind of mid. You know what I really like? I like the only two things is orange chicken, the chow mein, and what's that one, teriyaki chicken. Ooh, that's banger, bro. And the walnut shrimp. Ooh, that's double banger. That's a triple banger. That's a quadruple banger right there. The rest of the food they have is kind of mid. The rice, mid. The steak stuff, mid. The compound, mid. Everything else, it's pretty much mid, my boy. I'm not gonna lie.
Chicken as well. Orange chicken, as you see, because we
Like, I'm
sell
not gonna lie. It's not that good. It's kind of mid. It's kind of mid. The rest of the stuff they have is no. Wait, Japanese calligraphy? I don't really care. Whoa, eagle. Oh man, he's sleeping. Little sleepy eagle. He's just sleeping. Does he do anything interesting? Wow, he's been sleeping for hours. How do they get the camera all the way up there? How do they put the camera up there? Huh! Wow, look at his face. Oh, it's got eggs. It's got eggs. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. This is America right here. Wow. America. Wow. It's got eggs. That's so cute. It just sits on them. Damn, that's a whole ass eagle, bro. He just gets all comfy, just sits down. Little face. Little face. Damn, it's got its whole face in the snow. I feel bad for it. Doesn't it get so cold? And then it's just chilling. It's just sleeping. It's got its little babies right there. That's so cute. That's so cute. Very cute. Alright, what else? Day 100. Trying to look for something good. A former TK Oldies employee. Watch
This
funny
video
compilations
sponsored
all
by
day.
HelloFresh. Food. We all need it, but do we really have any idea what we're doing? The other day, I'm pretty sure I ate nothing other than pizza, and I wonder why technically speaking, Ganon is the original Zelda villain from a real-life perspective. He's not the original villain when it comes to in-game lore, and he's only present in like half of the games. But that aside, clearly Ganon is the most recognizable Zelda villain of them all, and one of the most well-known in gaming as a whole. Not only due to the fact that he did originate from the first game in the 80s, but also because he's just plain cool. And ironically, is one of the famous Chosen Three who received the power of the Triforce at several different points in the series. This depth makes him stand out as a unique villain, and in this video I'm going to explain the lore behind every appearance of Ganon throughout the series.
He had a whole sword throughout his chest.
Spoiler alert, obviously. The first things that I'm going to tackle are a couple of burning questions that some of you no doubt have. The first of which would be, what is the difference, if any, between Ganon and Ganondorf? What a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Ganondorf, although not present in the series until the 5th game in the franchise, Ocarina of Time.
5th game? How many Zelda games are there?
Actually comes before Ganon as far as lore is concerned. What I mean by that is that Ganondorf the Gerudo human being was first and then transformed into Ganon via the power of the Triforce of Power. Now this is slightly theoretical, and you're more than welcome to disagree with me because of that, as is your prerogative when discussing things not directly confirmed in-game. But my understanding is that Ganon is the demonic beast form that Ganondorf transforms into when augmented by a great power source, such as the Triforce or the Twilight or Malice. And this explanation for Ganon's existence is what I'll be branching off of for the entirety of this video. The second burning question that you may have is, what do I mean every Ganon in the series? Isn't there just one? Well, yes, but also no. Most Ganons are actually the same, yes, just split up by different timelines and appear differently depending on multiple different factors. However, one Ganon in particular is actually a straight-up reincarnation, and therefore another Ganon entirely. You see, in the child timeline, which we'll get back to at some point later in the video, Ganondorf is killed, straight up. But then another Ganondorf is born at some point in the future and eventually transforms into another Ganon and subsequently gets sealed away at the end of Four Swords Adventures. That being said...
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about the Zelda lore. I feel like the Zelda lore is super complicated. Has a lot of stuff in
whether
it.
the same Ganon/Dwarf or not, will be covered in full detail, so just hang tight. The last question to tackle before getting into the nitty-gritty would be the question of whether or not Ganon is the literal reincarnation of Demise's hatred, which, as many people will remember, is the beginning of the seemingly endless cycle of good versus evil that we see happen in every Zelda game. My answer to that is no. Ganon is not the literal incarnation of Demise's hatred, at least not directly. He's more of a byproduct. See, a lot of people, including me formally, assume that Ganon is the demon that Demise's eternal hatred manifests as. But that explanation doesn't allow for the existence of other demon kings and lords, such as Maladus or Majora, which also embody the
Majora's
hatred.
Mask!
Instead, I now believe that Demise simply cursed his hatred into a reincarnating existence in the exact same way that Link or the spirit of the hero reincarnates. And similarly to the spirit of the hero, will always reincarnate as an individual that may then become augmented and turn into a demon. This automatically explains every major
so evil,
demon and every major
Why he just not be evil?
such as Vati or Ganondorf or the other Ganondorf, because once one of them dies, another will eventually reincarnate due to the curse. Just like another Link will eventually reincarnate due to the blessing, if you will. Yet another similarity and parallelism between Hylia and Demise, but that...
So is that like always like, is it always just gonna be a loop then? So like, if Link defeats Ganon, or if he kills him, a couple years later a new one's just gonna be reborn? Are they just doing a, it's like they're just stuck in a loop then? He beats him, he comes back, beats him, comes back, beats him, he comes back. And then maybe one day Ganon actually kills Link, he dead, and then oh wait, he come back too. Because of the spirit or whatever, the spirit of the hero and then the spirit of the fucking villain. They keep coming back. It's just a loop, like they keep coming back. They don't break the loop, like they keep coming back. Like he keeps respawning. Bro's been the same villain for like 30 years.
That's enough talking about not Ganon.
I mean, that's like the same thing with like Bowser. Bowser been like the same villain for like a million years, bro. Bro's only objective is to kidnap this same skinny woman. You're like, come with me. And just grabs her.
In Ganon's own video, so let's move on. According to prophecy that was set in place an unknown time ago by forces currently unknowable, the desert-dwelling Gerudo people give birth to a male child only once every 100 years, and once of age, that boy is by default to become the king of the Gerudo.
Wait, what do you say? Because I know these people, the Gerudo people are like mostly females. Every 1,000 years, only one male is born. Wait, so how do they keep being born then if they're all females? How are they born if they're all females? How does that work? They're all women. How do they get birth? Huh?
This was the age-old custom of the Gerudo until one particular boy was...
Oh wait, am I tripping? Or just some random dude comes in from another race and just, you know...
born and crowned king, and his name was Ganondorf. He was born long ago, before the events of Ocarina of Time, and is
He's a Gerudo?
introduced to us in-game as the Gerudo king who apparently swore allegiance to the king of Hyrule. However, as
He's
Zelda
a Gerudo?
correctly predicted, this allegiance was
What?
fake, and Ganondorf's true intent was to find and seize the Triforce for himself, which was under the protection of the royal family of Hyrule. And that's the only
Triforce.
backstory to Ganondorf that we had all the way until his appearance in the Wind, when we finally were able to realize the deeper reasoning behind his actions, which, put simply, he did out of jealousy. As the ruler of the Gerudo, he knew firsthand of all the hardships that come with living in the desert, and he wanted the land of Hyrule for his own because of this. However, instead of acting nobly and perhaps collaborating somehow with the king of Hyrule to alleviate the harsh living conditions of his people, he instead sought to usurp the throne of Hyrule forcefully and take its
So, bro just became evil because he was like, I don't want to live in the hot weather anymore. I want to live in the nice green land, so I'm gonna come over there, steal your powerful powers, and take over your land. That sounds like some Genghis Khan type beat.
omnipotent Triforce for his own. No matter his reasoning though, he eventually did discover the Triforce and upon attempting to touch it, split it apart into the three pieces of power, wisdom, and courage, which rested within Ganondorf, Zelda, and Link respectively. For 7 long years he searched for the other 2 pieces while sitting atop his stolen throne of Hyrule, and eventually Link brings both himself and Zelda to Ganondorf's front door. After being defeated by Link in combat, Ganondorf calls upon the power of the Triforce of power within him and transforms into a hideous demon, introducing the world to the monster known as Ganon, the effects and legacy of which we have yet to escape to this day. It's also worth mentioning that ever since Ganondorf's reign over the Gerudo and transformation into the Demon King Ganon, the Gerudo people have officially sworn off all males, assumedly including their own. It's confirmed that there have been no kings since Ganondorf, but it's unknown as to whether or not there have still been other Gerudo men born. But back to Ganon. As a side note, for what it's worth, I think that Phantom Ganons are named Phantom Ganon instead of Phantom Ganondorf, even though they directly look like Ganondorf instead of Ganon, because Ganon is also the term we use for
Shawty, what did she just write? I was on the toilet and I was looking out the window and the stars, and out of nowhere, without any noise, a flock of geese, a whole ass 12 bird flock of geese flew right behind the window, so I closed it, and it scared the shit out of me. Before that happened, I was paranoid about aliens. That's why I can't. So you just got jump scared by a bunch of birds while pooping.
Magical doppelgangers of Ganondorf.
Make the poop go faster.
That's really neither here nor there, but I just wanted to take a moment and explain my thought process, since technically Phantom Ganons are, you know, Ganons, at least in name. But back to Ganon. As you know, following the events of Ocarina of Time, the timeline splits into 3 separate ones. The adult, which follows the events pictured here, the child, which follows the events pictured here, and the fallen, which follows events we don't see actually, since it's more of an alternate reality where Ganon manages to defeat Link. In each of these timelines, we see Ganon again, but notably in vastly different appearances. In the adult timeline, he appears again as a puppet, something unable to move on its own. In the child timeline, he appears as a 4-legged beast, and is the only time he appears this way in the entire series aside from Breath of the Wild. And in the fallen timeline, he appears similarly to his original Ocarina of Time appearance as a 2-legged humanoid pig-man monster thing. Now, I happen to believe that the differing appearances are no coincidence at all, and allow me to explain. In the first place, I don't think the Ganon transformation is reversible, at least the Ganon that Ganondorf transforms into. I think the only times we see Ganondorf transform into Ganon and then back into Ganondorf are specifically occasions where Link is able to kill Ganon, such as at the end of Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess. In both of these circumstances, Ganondorf still had the Triforce of Power in his possession, which likely prevented him from completely dying after Link does something like this. Now, I know some of you will immediately think about the ending scene of Twilight Princess where Ganondorf, still having the Triforce of Power inside him, still ends up dying, but I've already concocted an entire theory about that subject exactly,
he had a whole
which I will
sword
not explain
through
here for lack of time. So if you're interested, check out my video on that exact subject, which will be
He had a whole sword through
Anyway,
his
if we
chest.
think about it this way, as in if
Bro.
Ganon is a permanent transformation unless defeated, this would automatically explain each differing appearance. Puppet Ganon from Wind Waker strangely appears as a lifeless puppet, and after being defeated, it's revealed that it truly was not Ganondorf after all, and in fact, the real Ganondorf had been chilling on top of the giant chandelier thing, controlling Puppet Ganon the whole time. So let's imagine for a moment that, since Wind Waker takes place after the events at the end of Ocarina of Time in the adult timeline where Link kills Ganon, that form can no longer be transformed into. Because of this, Ganondorf, who has been making several Phantom Ganons in the game, creates a final Phantom Ganon that transforms into Puppet Ganon, which Ganondorf controls directly instead of actually transforming into it himself. By contrast, in the child timeline, which takes place...
Okay, yes, Vitamin Father is eating crackers, a coffee thing, that's cinnamon roll flavor, and a Gatorade. Gatorade, crackers, coffee. Well, I don't like cinnamon roll flavor. Nah.
Before Ganondorf was ever able to transform into Ganon in the first place. At the end, the Gerudo King calls upon the power of the Twilight to accomplish several things, such as possessing Princess Zelda, and after being squeezed out of her, transforming into Dark Beast Ganon. Which, by the way, is the only other 4-legged Ganon, aside from the Ganon in Breath of the Wild, who's also referred to as the Dark Beast Ganon, almost as if to imply that they are different transformations because they transformed due to different power sources, Twilight and Malice. And the reason he transformed into more of a beast in Twilight Princess is, in my opinion, the same reason that Link transforms into a wolf in the same game. It's due to the exposure to Twilight. Since both Link and Ganondorf have Triforces in their systems, and Link transforms into a wolf if exposed,
he got that inner dog in him.
Wolf pig thing.
Link had that dog in him.
After his defeat as Ganon, he de-transforms into a ball of pure energy, does battle with Midna, then appears in Hyrule Field as Ganondorf once again, with Dark Beast Ganon dead and gone at this point, never to be seen again. Later on in the timeline, following Ganondorf's death at the end of Twilight Princess, another Ganondorf is born, and I know Four Swords Adventures lore is kind of messy because of this, but hey, it's canon and it's on the timeline right here, so it's got to have some sort of explanation, which is that Demise's hatred once again reincarnates as another Ganondorf, but this time he transforms into Ganon via unknown means. It can be assumed, though, that he transformed because he obtained the Trident, but like I said, it's unclear since you really don't see Ganon or Ganondorf at all in the game, and the Triforce is nowhere to be seen. Anyway, in the alternate reality called the Fallen Timeline, Ganondorf transforms into Ganon but is actually able to kill Link. However, due to Link having already awakened the sages, and according to the intro of A Link to the Past, Ganon was stopped by the sages, aka the Wise Men, and sealed away within the Sacred Realm, along with the full Triforce, which implies that he also retrieved the Triforce of Wisdom from Zelda following Link's death. Well, actually that bit right there is a little bit of a headcanon from me. What A Link to the Past actually says happened is Ganondorf just straight up murdered all his minions so that he alone could enter the Sacred Realm and grab the Triforce for himself, successfully wishing upon it to rule the world and corrupting the Sacred Realm into the Dark World. It's a bit contradictory though in several places, since it says that Ganondorf actually was able to wish upon the Triforce, which means that for some reason the Triforce wish worked instead of splitting apart like it did when he tried to wish upon it in Ocarina of Time. And also it implies the door to the Sacred Realm was open and that Ganondorf then transformed into Ganon inside the realm and was sealed within it. If this were true, then Link would have still woken up 7 years later since he was asleep at this time and likely would have, you know, done something about the situation. Since it literally is contradictory and actually seems to reference events not linked to Ocarina of Time, I choose to personally explain the Fallen Timeline as Link being eliminated at the final battle of Ocarina of Time and then the events that A Link to the Past happens afterwards. But you can believe whatever you wish, as it ultimately doesn't matter much for explaining the existence of Ganon. The point is, his Triforce powered transformation was into a two-legged humanoid pig monster. When he's defeated for the first time at the end of A Link to the Past, the Triforce is not present within him, so he actually does die completely. He's halfway resurrected again in the events of the Oracle games via his surrogate mother's twin Rova, although the resurrection is interrupted by Link and only a mindless Ganon is revived and subsequently killed. Later on in A Link Between Worlds, Yuga specifically harnesses the power of the 7 maidens who are the descendants of the wise men, aka the sages, to resurrect and transform into Ganon, or in this case, Yuga Ganon. And of course is killed once again by the hero of Hyrule. And once again, later on in the timeline prior to the events of the original Legend of Zelda game, Ganon is once again revived by his lingering followers and leads an assault against Hyrule in order to obtain the Triforce of Wisdom, which Zelda has broken and scattered across the land preemptively. Ganon is once again killed by Link and technically revived again in the next game, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, if Link dies. That's a big if though, but I mean, hey, maybe it spawns another Fallen Timeline off of the Fallen Timeline. So the Fallen Timeline. Yeah, that makes sense. With Ganon's many different appearances throughout the timelines of
Child Timeline, Adult Timeline, Link to the... Bro, this is so confusing.
It's time to talk about his latest appearances as Calamity Ganon and Dark Beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild. Right off the bat, and trust me, I'm not copying out of explaining it, I'm just avoiding full-on speculation by admitting that it's hard to explain the specifics of Ganon's appearance here due to Breath of the Wild not officially connecting to any one of the previous timelines. And of course, theories can be made, but this is not a timeline theory video, so I digress. The one thing that carries over across all the timelines, though, is the hatred of demise. And what I can say is that by the time of Breath of the Wild, Ganon is more of an idea than an actual being that resurfaces eternally, sometimes spanning 10,000 years in between
That is not Ganon anymore. Look at him. He doesn't even have like a humanoid figure. Like he doesn't even have a figure anymore. Calamity Ganon's like all monstrous, like a big blob.
Appearances, and that both Calamity Ganon and Dark Beast Ganon and heck even the Blight Ganons are all made of the same goopy evil substance referred to as malice, none of which are actual transformations of Ganondorf like the other Ganons from the timelines, but rather are puppets, if you will, or perhaps phantoms that are all manifesting outside Ganondorf's corpse. He's been able to make phantom Ganons before, but it always used to be either due to Gerudo dark magic or the power of the Triforce of Power. So the real question we should be asking is, what is malice specifically and where does it come from? I know people will immediately say that malice as a substance has ties way back to Skyward Sword, in that it's heavily implied that that's what monsters are made out of in that game. But Ganondorf's not a monster, right? He's human. Or he was at some point. So where did the malice come from? Well, with Tears of the Kingdom right around the corner, I think this very question is about to get an answer, and therefore Calamity Ganon will finally be fully explained. We already know that it looks like malice is coming from Ganondorf's corpse, but again, he didn't used to ooze reddish-purple jelly out of his chest, so something must have changed. Maybe an old foe is returning from their eternal slumber and needs a physical body to possess. But before we dive headfirst into speculation station, I'm gonna go ahead and pump the brakes there. Thank you so much for...
That's like, whoa, that's a lot of lore, my boys. I have no idea. That is a lot of lore. That is a lot of lore, bro. I gotta sit down and watch a 5-hour long video of the entire Zelda lore, just so I can catch up. You know what I mean? Catch up. Dark Link. Why he's so dark? What else? MODOK, the big Eggman. Sons of the Forest. I want to play Sons of the Forest so bad. I'm gonna get it later. I'm gonna get Sons of the Forest. If I can run it well, y'all, we're gonna stream Sons of the Forest with Mexican friends. Junjito. What else? What else? What should we watch? First time in months. For real, Shawty? Man spends 50,000 on a single Gmod server. God damn. I like Dead Rising 3. It's alright game. I want to play Sons of the Forest so bad. Link loves Link. That fish woman liked Link a lot. She loved Link. What else? What we watch? What we watch? Terraria. SpongeBob. Bob Sponge. A Bum Sponge video. Booba Sponge. Booba Sponge. Booba Sponge. Booba Sponge. Mario. I haven't seen this guy in like 36 years. Kirby. Isn't this a new Kirby game that came out?
Kirby is returning to Dreamland for the second time. He first returned to Dreamland back in 2011 on the Wii, which was a big deal because at the time, Kirby hadn't seen a mainline home console release in over a decade. More importantly, this game would allow 4-player co-op and would become, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the better Kirby games. At least from the mainline series, I would put it in my top 5. And instead of a straight-up port, which Nintendo could have easily done and cashed in, they decided to opt for the rare Nintendo W and add a bunch of stuff like new copy abilities, a revamped collection of minigames, and an extra mode that features Magolor where he must recover his lost powers in a full 20-level epilogue. I've always been a casual Kirby enjoyer, but when I saw the deluxe version, I knew it was time to revisit Dreamland again. Again.
I am a Kirby
And speaking of
enjoyer.
revisiting, I'm going to need you to revisit that subscribe button to make sure that you are
I am a Kirby enjoyer.
powerful than a black hole. Yeah, so I haven't played this game in a while. Funny enough, I didn't even realize that I owned it. I know I played it when it came out on the Wii.
Oh man, I want that game. I want that game. Link versus Ganondorf? You fight whole ass Ganondorf? Pedro! Oh. Oop, nope, not that one. Not what it said, I didn't read the title. Breaking Bad. Mr. Freeze. Unique bread making. Yeah, Pokemon Cafe. Oreo, whatever that is. Super Mario. Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia. Nickelodeon. What the hell is that, bro? I wish I could use my 3DS again, but it's like completely like dookie broken on. I love the 3DS. I feel like 3DS is one of the best Nintendo like device consoles. I don't know if it's considered a console. Portable they've ever made. It's really good. I love 3DS. It's really, really good. I have so many good memories from it. And I have so many good games for it too, bro. I got some banger games for it. Like for real. Halo 5, worst one. Halo 5 actually, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Halo 5 was not the best one in the series. Out of all of them, I still consider Halo 5 the worst. The worst one in the entire Halo series. And then I'd rank, like, to me, the first one, to me, the best Halo in the entire series is Halo 3. I love Halo 3. It's nostalgic to me. Besides nostalgic, it's, the story is amazing. God damn, it's amazing, bro. I don't know how to put it in the words. Halo 3 just feels so good. Like, the moment you play it, it's insane. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I love Halo 3. Halo 5 was super mid. I think it was because of the introduction of the other Spartan, of this guy, Locke. I forgot his name already. That's how forgettable he is. The introduction of him kind of ruined it, and then having Master Chief have a whole team with him, I was like, I didn't really mess with that. Because Master Chief was always by himself, to be honest. He never really had like a group and was like, let's go, team. You know what I mean? Like, he was always like kind of solo, you know what I mean? Halo 3, I liked it a lot because a lot of the missions you got to play with, what's his name? The Arbiter. You got to do missions with him, and that was really fun. But not every mission was with him. And the missions that you didn't get to have with the Arbiter was just you. You know what I mean? And those were the hard ones. It was like the flood missions and stuff like that, I think. It was like really hard ones. Like, goddamn. So, I liked it. Ooh, Lost Video Games. How about that? Lost Video Games. That seems fire.
There's been dozens of unreleased games throughout history that have since been recovered and preserved online. There are thousands of unreleased games out there, and sometimes a nearly finished prototype emerges. Or if we're lucky, the actual source code of a game gets found on an old surviving disc. In this video, we'll be looking at several canned games, looking at why they were never released and how they got discovered and where they are now. Look out for some exclusive information in this video, as there will be plenty of it from our talks with game developers, collectors, and fellow historians. To give you a prime example of a lost and found game, let's take a look at Super Mario 64 DD, the planned Nintendo 64 disk drive port of the revolutionary 3D platformer. The Nintendo 64 disk drive was a peripheral add-on with a higher 64 megabyte capacity and rewritable storage. Although it first got unveiled at Nintendo's 1995 Shoshinkai trade show, the 64 DD would not see store shelves until December 1999 due to long delays caused by poor N64 sales. This resulted in dozens of games either getting canned or moving back to the regular N64 format. Some titles included early versions of Mother 3 and Pokemon Snap, and a new release of, you guessed it, Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 DD was shown off at Shoshinkai in 1996, and featured a different title screen, sound engine, and curiously, no face-stretching model at the beginning. Don't be fooled, this is not some lost sequel or expansion to Mario 64. It is a slightly different build of the original game. It's actually not all for only $1. When the Sega VR debuted at SCES 1993, four compatible games were shown with it. There was Iron Hammer, a tank combat game by Nova Logic, Outlaw Racing, a simple racing title, Matrix Runner, a Snatcher-inspired murder mystery, and Nuclear Rush, a high-speed cyberspace adventure intended as a package game. Nuclear Rush was the brainchild of Futurescape Productions, a small California company founded in October 1992 by ex-EA programmers Kenneth Hurley and Kevin McGrath. Sega of America producer Jesse Taylor, who'd worked with Hurley and McGrath at EA, recommended their new startup to the then president and CEO, Tom Kalinske. Kalinske was impressed with the team's resume, and Futurescape got picked as the first of 4 developers on the Sega VR. As stated in a 1993 press release, Nuclear Rush is a cataclysmic trek into a post-nuclear gold rush, where low-level nuclear waste is bartered as an energy source. You are posing as a nuclear pirate, piloting a hovercraft through radioactive wastelands guarded by heavily armed robots and drones. Kevin McGrath would serve as lead programmer alongside Matthew Hubbard, a veteran game developer behind Atari VCS titles such as Dolphin and Double Dunk. Tom Colley and Rick Lucy would supply the artwork, and Tara Packard would do minor uncredited work on the backgrounds. Futurescape worked closely with Sega of America and Sega Japan, and was given a prototype headset to work with. Other Sega VR developers did not. Nuclear Rush was completed and even got a box art painted for it, but due to glitches in the hardware, it had to be put on hold. Preliminary work began on a possible sequel codenamed Chameleon, but it didn't go very far. Even worse, members of Stanford Research Institute were warning Sega of the hazards of Sega VR. Headaches and dizziness would occur if the graphics were out of sync with the actual movement of the player's head, and young users could get hurt. It kept a vast Most of the licensing for the Raisins announced their collaboration with Capcom on an who sent us some exclusive photos of Murphy's cartridge, alongside the original box art for the game painted by artist Greg Winters. Smith tells us he bought the game from an unidentified collector who reportedly owned over 300 NES prototypes at one point. Smith found the Grape Escape hiding in one of the collector's photos and offered to buy the game, along with 2 other prototypes, for an undisclosed price. Note that the original file released on Lost Levels was not in fact the Murphy cartridge, but rather a slightly
to showcase a variety of different character interactions.
Simpson.
Adventures among the higher ups of Vivendi. On one hand,
alright, the video bored me. Zelda? Don't know what it's made. Nah, I don't care. Genshin Impact? I don't care. All the deaths in Dragon Ball Super? I don't care about Dragon Ball. Check on the mid, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Josuke. Oh, Josuke Requiem? That's funny. Josuke feels Requiem. What else? What else? Late night drunk driving. Oop. Not good, not good. MF Doom. Motherfucking Doom. 25 best big character, big Lego characters.
Combining all Lego games, there is a total
Show me
of
all the big characters.
57 big characters across, well,
I want to see all the
Lego.
big guys.
So let's take a look at the top 25. Cue the music. Actually, whoa.
I want to see big Lego.
Slam ability, which is really cool.
Whoa,
like
he's so big and
that's the best
fat.
way I can describe. Back in 2013, this character was just so hilarious to me when I was younger, and I mean his chin just ain't as good as the Goblin King's chin, but it's nearly there. Now, in terms of his fighting animation, he does have the base big character fighting animation, because LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1 was actually the first LEGO game to include a big playable character. This obviously being the Hulk. And I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot how broken the Hulk clap is in this game. Literally, I'm on the other end of the street and it went that far. Now, I'm probably gonna make you angry, but I'm sorry, Hulk, it has to go to the Blob on this one. And in terms of his slam attack, I'm really debated on what is hitting the ground first. Is it his belly or is it his, you know? I'll leave you to decide. It is now time to head over to a galaxy far, far away.
Ooh, I have this game. I have this game. It's really fun. I have this game.
At number 22.
Oh, you can play as Jabba the Hutt. Bro, we gotta watch more Star Wars, bro. Me and Shawty been watching Star Wars, but we're watching in the chronological order, right? So we're starting from the beginning, right? For like, and how the story goes in the beginning, and we're on the Clone Wars show, but we stopped because I got really bored. Because like, bro, we have to watch the entire Clone Wars series, and the entire Clone Wars series is like 13 seasons. Like, it's a lot. It's a long show, but I mean, you can't move on to the other movies without watching the show, because the movies are after the show. You know what I mean? So like, we have to watch the show first because it's chronological order. We're watching in chronological order and not how the order like the movies released it. Because how the movies came out in the theaters is like it came out all in different timelines. You know what I mean? Like, it came out like in different time. You know what I mean? Like the first movie that came out was in the past, and then this one present, future, whatever. But yeah, you know what I mean. If you have seen Star Wars, you know what I mean, bro. But we're watching chronological order, right? So, like, we have to watch the entire Clone Wars series, but that's hella long, bro. It's 13 seasons, man. 13 seasons of Clone Wars. That is a lot to digest, bro. That is too much. That is my best job of impression. But we'll watch it.
Now, the main reason why I have decided to
look at that. I want to get to the movies where I see Jabba the Hutt. I love Jabba. Look how big he is.
Both of the Hutts here is because they both play the exact same. It's just depending on what appearance you prefer. You've got Mama the Hutt and Jabba the Hutt. Now, they both cost a whopping 500,000 studs to unlock, but they are worth it. Now, 500,000 schmeckles to Blob in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1, because these characters are so hilarious to play in the Skywalker saga, and I've got to be honest, they are really well designed. Look at this, I am a massive slug running around taking out the Empire, and I love the entire combo abilities these characters have.
Bro's hella big.
When you want to send up enemies into an air combo, they lick them with their tongue and it sends them up into the air, and if you spam it, it's rather funny. Due to them being classified as a big character, they have a lot more health than the other characters within the game because they are classified as big characters. So basically Jabba has the exact same health as the Rancor. And oh yeah, if you did not know, Jabba the Hutt actually weighs 6,000 pounds. So just imagine that sliding on top of you. Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's about
6,000 pounds. Almost as heavy.
Then there is the sound effects the developers decided to give this character. It's kind of like a spring sound effect when he jumps. It's rather funny. I'll let you have a listen. If you would have told me 6,000 pounds bouncing up and down sounds like that, I wouldn't really believe you. But hey, we're in a galaxy far, far. Anchorman. Now, in terms of action, propel himself forward
the hell
with
is
the anchor in his hand
Anchorman?
to attack the enemies. Then there is his special move where he literally causes a tsunami to flood out the entire area, and you just get so many studs from it. I mean, look at it. Beautiful. And I've got to...
What is this one?
Hulk that came beforehand, because I really love how he's wielding
World
two
Breaker
weapons, and
Hulk.
it really does change the character entirely.
Gorilla Man.
Gorilla Man is actually the first DLC character on this list, and he is the main standout in the Agents of Atlas DLC. The character comes equipped with his own moveset, and he's got a move where he turns himself into like a bowling ball and just starts rolling around, and it is super powerful.
Big gorilla.
DC supervillain. To begin with, he's got a really awesome transformation from Little Bane to Big
Bane.
Secondly, the man has a minigun. Now, I've been debating for quite some time. I don't know if this is a glitch in LEGO DC Supervillains, but when you aim down the sights as Bane with his minigun, the fire rate just goes ridiculously quick. For example, this is the regular fire rate of Bane's minigun, but when you aim down sights, it goes ridiculously quick, and I don't even know if half of it hits a registering because it's going that fast. And really, nobody cared who this character was until he put on the mask. And it really has been amazing watching the evolution.
I like Trigon better, and Trigon I think is the biggest character in the LEGO DC villain one, because he turns ginormous.
Throughout all of the LEGO Batman.
Oh, the Rancor. What the hell is that? Bro, we gotta watch the Hobbit movies. I love the Hobbit.
He's actually the only big character to have a musical ability. But, just before we get on to that, I really love how King Shark looks, especially in the water when swimming around Gotham City. He does look really menacing, and he has his own fighting animations too, but the main highlight
I love King Shark.
This.
The hell is that? Bro, grooving it?
Kinda makes me...
Bro,
it's just something so big pulling Surtur down, and that is the flames that encapsulate him. They just get in the way of your camera half the time. I mean, look at this. I can't see anything.
Bro.
Now, I really wish they went to give this character no point.
Who else they got?
Next up at number 14
Sully.
is Sully from LEGO Incredibles.
Sully. You can play as Wally. Wally.
Sully is one of the many Pixar characters within LEGO Incredibles, and that is one of the standout features
Dory.
of LEGO Incredibles. All of the amazing
one.
Pixar characters. I mean, you've got Ratatouille, Woody from Toy Story, Sully from Monsters Inc. You've got the girl from Brave, otherwise known as Wee Merida, alongside Lightning McQueen. And then
Lightning McQueen Lego.
But today we're purely talking about Sully, and yes, Sully can do his monster roar, and it sounds amazing to be fair.
Fire.
The colours in LEGO Incredibles are very vibrant, and
Woody.
Sully fits in perfectly. I really love the blue contrast that he has against all of the red buildings in the game and the greenery, and Sully's so fun to play. To the likes of the little stars flying out of him when he attacks enemies, I really love their minute details, and not to forget, yes, you can roar in the enemy's face, which briefly stuns them, allowing you to attack them. And the character can super jump, and I really like the super jump in LEGO Incredibles. It kind of feels different to other super jumps. Feels better. And yeah, he does have his own super move where he literally roars and it breaks the sound barrier and just destroys everything around it, and you get loads of stunts. Anyway, Jarvis, drop my needle. Next up is LEGO Avengers. Now, number 13 and number 12, I really couldn't decide which way round to put these, so I'm going to put them together, and that is Detroit Steel and Ironmonger. Now,
those are sick.
Listen up for you. You've set is the exact same across all the Hulk, but
what is that guy? Me when the Wi-Fi just went dookie. Oh, I paused it, bro.
Instead, he's just gonna stare you down with that very creepy
the hell is that?
smile. Though they only used the standard big character model for Captain Clown, they really made him feel like an animatronic in the ways they went to animate his movements alongside all of the sound effects placed on top, making it feel like you're not just playing some big guy dressed as a clown, you're actually playing a robotic clown, which Joker made. And yes, this character is a part of the Batman animated series DLC, and oh, that DLC's too good. Too good. I mean, look at Batman with his blue cape. Beautiful. Funnily enough, Captain Clown may be one of the most powerful characters in the game. He's got a move where he swings a chain all the way around his body, and I'm not even lying, it just decimates everything.
Whoa.
And then once you've destroyed them all, you can just wave at them. For me, he is easily a top 10 big character in the ways they went to portray him being a robotic clown via the animations, along with all the sound effects used, along with his little ominous smile. Easily a top 10. Time to jump from Gotham City all the way up to Apocalypse in LEGO DC Supervillains again, with number 9 being Steppenwolf. Born to be wild, to evade out of an attack. Though it is a little bit...
That guy's huge. You can play a Steppenwolf?
Anyway, he also...
That's fire. Who else can you play as?
People to get out of your swamp, and I love him in the swamp, especially. He's in his hometown, how can you not? The character, when fighting enemies, does exactly what you picture's man thing to do. He uses roots from his arms to attack enemies at a distance, and I love his slam attack alongside level 2, and this was his first appearance.
Nice.
To do this much. There is only
nice.
Darkseid is easily a top 5 big
character.
I
love Darkseid. Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom. He's the biggest LEGO game character to date when he transforms into his big version, and he just looks incredible marching around New York City picking up cars and throwing them around. He's definitely worth your top 3. And just before we move on to the next position, I need to tell you about something that I found, and that is a LEGO lightsaber. I mean, look at honesty. Now, I am a huge fan on how they did his particle effect around his fists, which are a lot better than the flame particles on Surtur, because they just get in the way. However, in this instance, they do not, and they look really wicked. And feast your eyes upon how massive this character can become. Now, yes, he ain't as big as Fin Fang Foom, but he is better than Fin Fang Foom. For starters, I'm a huge fan on the design of him, and he just looks really awesome at night time, especially in massive.
Who's
to
number
resemble
1?
the Frankenstein we all know and love, but I really love this interpretation upon the character. I mean, the original book of Frankenstein dates all the way back to 1818. Now, this version of Frankenstein is heavily, for starters, his alongside using his sword.
Why is Frankenstein number 1? They forgot Trigon, bro. Alright, what else? Gatito. All my Chase Funko. What are Chase? What are Chase?
429. That's how many days somebody commented on my videos in a row asking for me to do this video. I want to give a huge shout out to the Pop Ninja, because if it weren't for you, this video would not be happening. So today, we're going to be taking a look at every single one of them. Now, before I show you my collection...
Jesus Christ, how many Funkos does this guy have, bro? How much money y'all think this motherfucker wasted on Funkos, bro? Holy.
If you've never heard of a Chase before, it's almost like a variant of a normal figure. Funko ships out their characters in a box of 6, and what'll happen is when there is a Chase, one of those figures will be different. And they will have a sticker on the front to indicate that it
limited Chase
is the Chase version, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at today, because they are...
Wait, so Chase just means what? That out of that batch, that one's just like a little different? That's it? It's just different from the rest of them?
Kind of like the rarer, more sought-after versions. Starting with Christmas, where we actually have 2 figures, the Grinch as well as Buddy the Elf.
Oh, the Grinch one is so cute. I want the Grinch one, bro. I love the Grinch. I have the Grinch movie on DVD.
I don't really understand why the Grinch is blue. I believe it was something to do with like an older book where he actually was this color. And then when it comes to Buddy, he just has the Jack in the Box in his hand instead of syrup. So 2 pretty fun ones. Next up, we've got Care Bears
Grinch.
with True Heart Bear, Good Luck Bear, and Wish Bear.
Care Bear?
Actually,
Hell no, bro.
Most Care Bears do have chases where it's like a slight variance. So for these ones here, we've got flocked versions as well as translucent. And then I believe this one here.
Care Bears? Hell no, bro. I don't want no Care Bear.
What I really enjoy about the flocked Wish Bears that they actually gave it that flocked chase sticker. I just love looking at that.
Hell no, no Care Bear.
Next up, we've got the comic book Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the 3 of them being Casey Jones, as well as I always forget which ones I've got, Raphael and Donatello. These ones actually are all from
they kind of
the
look
exact
kind of
same
cool.
set. Actually,
They look
all
kinda
6
cool.
of them from this line have
Ninja
a
Turtles look
chase.
kinda
I've only
cool.
just been able to find 3
I'm not
of
gonna
them.
lie, the
And
Ninja Turtles
another
look
thing that
kinda
I
cool.
really enjoy, very similar to the way they did the flock chase sticker.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I take them all out of the box. That's what I do with mine. Like, I got what? I only have I have like 5 Funkos, right? I have a Funko of, what's his name? Proxy. I have a Proxy Funko. It's the guy from, it's a robot from Star Wars, from the game. If y'all ever played the Force Unleashed game, there's a robot called Proxy in it. So I have a Funko of him. I have a Funko of BMO from Adventure Time. A Funko of Morty with a big arm. A Funko of Baby Yoda, of Grogu, like meditating. That one's my best one. And I have a Funko of the Mandalorian. That's it. But the thing is, like, I don't like to keep them in the box, bro. Like, I like to rip them out of the box and then just like caress them. You know what I mean? Like really get a feel for them, and then just put them like in front of my TV.
These ones here actually have a black and white chase one. I love that thing. Alright, now let's take a look at animation, where I have Sentient Armor.
Wait, that's the one I have. Wait, that's the one I have. That's the one I have. Wait. Wait a minute. Yo, wait a minute. Wait, what? I don't know if it's... Wait, let me get the box. I think it's not in the box. Hold on. Oh my god, it does say Chase on it. I never realized it. The box does say Chase on it. And I ripped them out of the box. I have the box. I have that exact one. Bro.
Rick with glass in his eye.
Oh my god. I have that Morty. I'm literally holding him in my hand right now. I literally was just telling you all about the Morty. Bro. That's wild. I have the bugs. Aw, that Rick looks sick. I want that.
As well as the glow-in-the-dark Mr. Burns and Rocco.
Ooh, that looks fine.
And I think out of these 4 here,
the glow-in-the-dark Mr. Burns looks sick.
here, my 2 favorites definitely are these ones over here.
What did you see?
Because the Rick and Morty ones are cool, but their chases aren't that different.
I have that. Look, I'm gonna take a picture for Shawty. Oh my god, I literally have I literally have that exact one. That's crazy. I was literally telling you about how I had it too. It's so crazy. The box literally says Chase on it too. The box literally says Chase. I never knew that. I just took him out of the box.
Like the normal Teddy Rick, he doesn't have blood or glass in his eye. And then when it comes to the Sentient Arm Morty, I'm pretty sure it's just the blood. Oh no, his arm is also down with a thumbs up instead of up like this. So they are cool. They're just not that crazy different. But for the Mr. Burns one here, he's completely green and he glows super, super bright. And then also with Rocco, they've made him look sick, which is a little bit weird, but it goes along well with the show.
Oh my god,
now
that Grinch one costs $56.
2 chases, both Terrence and Philip. Now, these aren't technically in the animation category, but I figured I would do it right after animation because they are very similar. They actually gave them their own line because of the amount of characters they have.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I've never really been into South Park. Like, maybe I'll see one episode of South Park and be like, it's kind of the funnies, but that's really it. I've never been into South Park. I'll be honest, y'all. It's one of the shows I've never really sat down and be like, lol, this is funny. I've never gone into South Park. I could never. I don't know why. I just never got into South Park.
And with these ones here, the main difference is the fact that they're holding a Canadian flag in their hand. I don't believe anything else on them is different, but I like
never
the
got
change.
into South Park,
especially because in the show they are Canadian. What I do find really funny about these characters is that they're bobbleheads, and they actually bobble at their mouth. And now, if you haven't seen South Park before and don't understand the joke, that's how they talk in the show. Actually, every single Canadian is like that, and if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see it. You know what? Let's jump into sports next, where I've got two pretty interesting ones, and I would consider both of these sports legends.
Yeah, it's hella boring.
Ones here, like we've got Stranger Things, Bob Ross,
Stranger
and
Things?
The Office.
Oh, The Office
Things,
ones.
It's literally just
I like The Office
one
one.
for the chase, and then Bob Ross is him with Hoot instead of... I don't actually remember who the other one was. Maybe a squirrel, I think so. They also changed it on the box, so it's a little bit hard to remember. But the painting is definitely different, and I know the animal is, I just don't remember what the common one was. And then when it comes to The Office, instead of it being the Dave Halloween costume for Jim, it's actually the Facebook version where it says book on his face. And then with Dwight, it's the basketball one where he's got no shirt on. It's a little bit weird. Okay, now let's talk about movies, because these here are some pretty expensive ones. Or at least the Jason Voorhees, but then we also
that Jason
have Jack
one's cool.
Torrance,
I like
as well
that
as
one.
Audrey too, and then Smaug. Smaug. Either way, these here are some of my favorite chases in the collection, because the
one
Jason
from The Shining
Voorhees
is
actually
sick.
a really, really expensive one, coming in at like around $500. And then the
What
Jack
the hell?
Torrance is just such an interesting one, where they made him completely blue instead of the normal colors, like he's frozen outside. The Audrey 2, though, I'm gonna be honest, is kind of a boring one. Just because the only difference is the fact that it's a bloody chase, and then when you take a look at it, sure, there's a little bit of blood coming out of its mouth, but it's really not that much. And then for Smaug, again, it's not that different, but I like that the chase is him with those eyes, because normally he's got black eyes for the pop, but then with this one here, they swapped it up to be these yellow ones, which makes him look even more realistic. And I remember when this one came out, I actually got it for like $40, so pretty much retail. Looks like Star Wars is up next, and we actually have two of them in the collection, and they're both from The Mandalorian. We've got Cobb Vanth as well as Bo-Katan, and actually both versions of them are the unmasked ones. So they are different enough that you probably want to pick up both of them, especially if you're going for the entire set. And I mean, the only way that you...
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't... I'd get them if I want to complete a set, but to be honest, I really wouldn't get them because I really don't care about their characters at all. Like, the only reason why I get Funko Pops is because I care about that specific character, you know what I mean? Like, I got Proxy because I really like him in The Force Unleashed. He's like the coolest Star Wars character in there. I got BMO because I love BMO. I literally love BMO so much. Like, BMO is one of my favorite characters in Adventure Time, besides Finn. I think Finn's my number one, and then Jake, and then BMO. I love Finn, Jake, and BMO. They're my... but I love BMO. He's so small and cute. I love him. I love BMO. So I had to get the Funko of him. The Morty one, because I love Rick and Morty. The Grogu one, because I love Grogu. Little baby Yoda, bro. He's amazing. He's so cute. I love him. And then the Mandalorian, because I love the Mandalorian. He is one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. He's probably my number one favorite Star Wars character. I love the Mandalorian. I love Mando. He is my favorite.
You can get this head for Cobb Vanth is with the chase, and it might be the same with Bo-Katan, but there's a couple different versions of her, so
I do not care about Bo-Katan at all.
Add icons. One of those sets that I've been trying to complete
my
for
boy, that's a whole
years now, and
Twinkie.
it seems like it's never going to happen with the original ones being so expensive.
And then Ronald
But I can show you guys
McDonald.
the chases, because of course that's the point of the video today, where I've got the Hostess Twinkie as well as Ronald McDonald. And these are some interesting ones, because the Twinkie the Kid is actually like swapped up, so he's got a different cowboy hat on as well as bandana. And then the other one that I've got here is the Ronald McDonald that's only exclusive to Thailand. Like, you could only pick it up in that country. I was lucky enough to get it off a website. I don't remember which one. I think it was something like, where was the store? Maybe Simply Toys, I think? I'm not 100% on that one, but it was some other store that I don't normally order figures from. I did it so I got a chase and a common, and I believe it was like $80 for both. Definitely worth it, because I honestly have no clue how else I would get this one. Now let's talk about Disney, where again I've got some pretty pricey ones. And honestly, the Disney
that Eeyore one looks so cool.
Collection. Like, there's just something about them that really stands
Stitch.
out on the
I
shelf.
love the Stitch
and so
one.
The
I want that
Edition
Stitch
Eeyore,
one.
where he's blue instead of gray, and I really do like the colors on this one. As well as
cool.
Max
Hot
from
Topic
Troop
exclusive.
and the black and white Cogsworth. Then we've got Stitch with his mouth.
Stitch.
all
I want the
playing a
Stitch one.
record.
Bro,
It's too
I
bad
want
there
the
wasn't like
Stitch
an
one.
Elvis quote somewhere on the box, but
I want that
understand
Stitch
they
one.
probably couldn't have thrown that on there. And then the last one that we've got over here is the Diamond Edition Yes.
I really don't care
Ralph
about it.
Breaks the Internet, the figure that's honestly not that expensive, but it is still cool to have. Like, I honestly think you could have found this chase for maybe like $10 at one point. It was not pricey at all. Now we're getting into DC, and this is actually a pretty interesting set, because one of them was my first ever chase. Do you see it? It's actually this one here, and I found it, I want to say, what year does it say on the bottom here? Back in like, 2013, 2014. I actually got it all the way back when Target was in Canada. They had like 6 of them on the shelf, and I was lucky enough to get this.
Oh, that's
cool.
Got
Gamer Batman, Robot Batman,
Robot
Joker,
Batman's
which
sick.
is a really interesting one because
that
he's
Joker
metallic
one's
as well.
sick.
The paint on his face is like running down. And
Okay, that Joker one. I would get that Joker one.
The dark version of Black Adam, which
I don't care
really
about Black Adam
crazy because it's the exact same as the original. But if you're gonna go for one, definitely go for this one. Now I know a lot of you guys are really gonna like this next set because we've got anime. And if I'm gonna be honest, I pulled a couple of these from.
I hate Naruto. Naruto is probably one of the most. I feel like it's one of the most overrated animes ever, like in existence. I will never in my life watch Naruto. Never, never, never. I will die before I sit down and watch an entire episode of Naruto. I'm never gonna watch that anime in my life. I will literally perish and die before I ever watch an episode of Naruto. Never watching that show in my life. Demon Slayer, pretty cool. I fuck with it. I actually like it. Really cool anime. I give it like a what? Like an 8 out of 10. Nah, 7 out of 10. 7, 8. It's pretty cool anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That is perfection. That is a 10 out of 10 anime. That is like in my top 5. Full Metal Alchemist, bro, is insanely good. That is one of the best animes to ever exist on this planet. I want that Edward. I want that Edward Funko. That is insanely good.
For my brother's collection. So if I don't know their names exactly, excuse me on this one. But we've got the Sasuke Rasengan.
I hate Naruto. God, it's Dookie.
Then we also have Anbu Itachi as well as Anbu Kakashi. Then the other two are ones that I had in my collection. It is Tanjiro Glow in the Dark as well
That's
as
cool,
Edward
Tanjiro. Edward. I want the Edward.
They are the first
I want that
Edward.
Edward.
Earlier, but I might as well show them off now. It is the glow in the dark sticker. Now the
that
only
Edward
thing I
looks
wish about
sick.
These figures was the fact that the stickers also glow in the dark, but they don't. Especially because with the color they chose for them, it would be amazing if they did. And they've done glow in the dark boxes before.
That
with,
Edward
like,
is
this one
sick.
back here. Where is he? Dino, way in the back corner here. Like the text on him glowed in the dark. So if they could have done the glow in the dark stickers,
that Edward
it
is
would have been amazing. I don't know.
So
Marvel
cool.
is the next set that I've got, and this is honestly the most chases I have for one line. Because we've got Gamer Miles Morales as well as the Unmasked Miles Morales. We've got the Gamer Deadpool, Gamer Groot,
cool.
Wasp Unmasked version, the
Blue
Blue Doctor Strange,
That's
as well as the
cool.
Japanese series Spider-Man, where he actually glows in the dark.
That Spider-Man's
kind
of cool.
The black and white version of Vision. It was kind of interesting with this one because they swapped up the head but then kept the body the same. I don't know, I like it. And then the last one that we've got here is the unmasked version of Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I think my favorite one out of all of these has to be the Doctor Strange because it is the 1000th Marvel Funko Pop, so they actually gave it this kind of like blue color. Do you see what it is here? It's a little bit different than a normal box. Okay, now for this next set, we actually have a miscellaneous selection. Like these ones here are really cool, but they just didn't have a category to go into. So we've got the Atom Bomb from Garbage Pail Kid, where he's completely glow in the dark, as well as an orange color instead of that normal kind of like skin tone. The Spartan Mark 5B with energy sword
that
from
Halo one
and
is
I believe
sick.
the only difference is the fact that the energy sword is red, so kind of lazy, but still fun that I've got it. The Britney Spears, where she has a glitter cowboy.
Why is there a Britney Spears Funko, bro? Why they make a Funko for Britney Spears? Like what? Who's gonna go out of their way to buy a Funko of Britney Spears? Who's gonna walk into a store and be like, I want a Britney Spears Funko. I need a Britney Spears Funko on my desk. Who? Except this guy.
And then this one here is a golden version of Astro Boy, where the
Astro Boy's sick.
like
I would get that. I love Astro Boy. I love Astro Boy.
And like I said, just because these are miscellaneous doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the characters. It's just the fact that I only had one of each, and I would even say that Atom Bomb is one of my favorites in my collection. Just because, I mean, come on, guys, look at how cool he is.
The hell
I know
is
you guys
that
might
thing?
think that I'm done, but we actually have a couple more around the room, so let's get moving. Like right behind me, guys, we actually have the 10-inch version of
Whoa, that
Hound,
Rick is
the
sick.
normal one is this blue color, but
That
this
Rick
one here
is sick.
completely red. Then a little bit farther down in the 10-inch figures, we have this rainbow troll, where the normal one looks
The
like
hell
it's
is...
actually got the
Bro, that thing is
rainbow hair and the normal
massive.
skin tone,
Jesus
but for this one
Christ.
here, it's completely opposite. Then down at the bottom here, we actually have the chase version of Galactus.
My God, that thing is massive, bro. I would not keep that in the box. I would rip that dude out of the box, bro. thing is
Where
massive.
the normal one, Galactus, is like the color of Silver Surfer, and then the Silver Surfer would be kind of like this orange tone.
Oh my
And then this
God.
last chase is actually one that I just picked up the other
Sentinel.
day. So this is the first time you guys are seeing it in a video. It is the Black Light Sentinel, and then it even has a tiny little Wolverine in the bottom.
That's so
He's kind of hard to
cool.
see, but it's the same size as the Silver Surfer with Galactus, and this thing is seriously crazy.
Wow.
And also, this is the first ever figure I've got in my collection with this Black Light Chase sticker. Look at how cool it is. And well, anyways, guys, there you go.
That's
That
kinda
is
cool.
all of my chases in the collection. And shout out to the Pop Ninja
Oops.
again for giving me this idea for 429 days in a row. Seriously, that is a lot of dedication.
Bruh, alright. That's kind of cool. Fat ass cat dancing. Inside a 5-floor thrift shop in Japan.
So we are doing a 5-floor thrift store today. I need to do some scouting for some stuff for
That's
my
a
studio.
thrift store?
And this is kind of where I wanted to do it, right?
Damn, bro, that's the thrift store in Japan?
Let the tiny size
Holy.
of the building deceive you. As you can already
My
tell, this
boy.
place is packed full of stuff, so get ready for
That
a
place
very
is packed.
distracted video filled with many random items as I search. One of the things that I just did is I actually set
Ooh,
up
they got games.
an N64 in my studio. I've always wanted an inbox N64 like this. This is very tempting at only 7,150 yen.
How much is
Especially the way
7,000 yen?
exchange rates are right now.
$100
It's
million?
so incredibly cheap. Even ones outside of the box are around the same price, like even more actually. That one's 7,700 yen. You've got game
Damn.
cubes down here. You've got Super Famicom, or I guess Super Nintendos, for as low as 3,000 yen. And a little bit of an
Wow.
interesting sidebar, seeing these hard drives here reminded me of a Japanese TV program that I watched maybe back in 2010.
They had a whole they have whole ass hard drives there.
To thrift stores, buying up old recycled hard drives and try to recover data from the previous owners off of them, even though they had been wiped. It was kind of crazy and a little bit scary, so now I destroy all my hard drives after seeing that. There's also stuff in here that I've never seen before too, like this
Kirby. Look at that Corby.
Famicom system. I have no
Corby.
idea what that is,
Corby.
and I have not seen a proper
Whoa.
Game Gear in years.
That's cool.
Also, that little Nintendo is so expensive at 33,000 yen. Also, this little dynamic baseball game here, this is how some of the game companies in Japan got their starts into electronic games, was by making little handheld things like this.
Whoa.
And in the 80s, apparently, the Japanese trains were just filled with salarymen standing around playing these. That would have been something pretty cool to see. Before we get to the N64 games, here's something that threw me off the very first time that I came to Japan. These little like floppy disks right here that say Nintendo on them. Some of you will know what these are, some of you won't. If you do know, drop it in the comments down below. I actually had to look it up the first time I'd seen it because I'd never seen anything like it before.
Oh, PSP
like
game.
N64 games. We've got Star Wars Racer right here for about 550 yen. The overall N64 selection is kind of low. It's almost impossible to find stuff like GoldenEye, but if you do, it's likely going to be pretty expensive. Oh, there's more down here. Look at that. Didn't even see that. But what always blows my mind is just how well stuff is taken care of, and you'll see that in Japanese thrift stores. Like these here, you have Bomberman here for 3,300 yen, Dragon Quest here for 2,200 yen, and then you can even get stuff like Donkey Kong 2 for as low as 800.
Donkey Kong?
Yeah,
I was kind of mid.
like this here, like this
Minecraft.
copy of Minecraft actually looks like it might be new. It's priced very close to new. It's hard to tell sometimes. And then you've got the entire, like, this is the retro gaming section, and I'm very much here.
The little thrift store looks so cool.
So much. What kind of prices are we? We're looking at anywhere between plastic models and toys. Let's head out. So this is the audio and musical instrument. What?
Whoa.
This guitar looks like it's made out of a sofa. And this guitar is also well over $1,000. That is crazy. Okay, but you got a keyboard down here for as low as $100. That's not too bad. a ton of amps here, ranging around $50 each. And I have a whole bunch of records plastered on my office wall right now. So I'm low-key considering at some point getting a record player for that. But on top of it, it's mostly guitars, to be honest. Like if you take a look at this,
it's a lot of guitars.
And they range from like $100, $150 all the way up to several $1,000s for these.
Nice.
Guitars.
It looks so organized though, y'all. Like how it's such an organized place.
LPs. This here is one of the sections that I want to look for. I'm looking for like retro looking albums that I can put on the wall and then have people enjoy when they come over to the office. So I've been hitting up all the hard offs and hobby offs, but the amazing thing is a lot of it is
so
actually
organized.
Western
I love how organized it is.
Not CDs. The records, albums, LPs, all of that you'll find in these shops are, for some reason, Western artists. And then every now and then you find something like that. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back and check through. Look at that. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have to come back and check through all of these in more detail later and see if there isn't anything that I can bring back to the office like this.
Ooh.
I don't know why I like that so much. It just has a very retro look and feel to it. I have no idea what's on it, and that's part of the adventure and why I want to get a record player, because right now pretty much all the records on my wall, I have no clue what's on them. I also can't take it up the staircase because it's bright and beautiful, but we took the back staircase. Okay, so this is my favorite floor of them all, the junk floor. It's the floor where I tend to spend the most time looking through stuff, because while stuff is labeled as junk, it's often not junk. It's just in drawers. And this side here is all appliances. I don't need any appliances, but if you're looking for a microwave, that one's about $100. You got coffee makers.
Nice.
These are actually surprisingly priced somewhat expensive, considering the fact that this is a recycle shop or thrift store, to be honest. But you can get like an air purifier here.
Oh wow.
$15. Humidifier.
A purifier. I need one of those.
Look at this. Like, this is clearly a used fan for like 8,800 yen. I'm actually very surprised at appliance prices. In Akihabara, there's actually an entire appliance like warehouse for used appliances that's just amazing. But it's these drawers and whatnot here that I get obsessed with, because you'll find gems and amazing, wonderful things in here. Like this. I wonder what kind of camera fits in there. Like, this is an underwater housing for an Olympus camera, and don't let it deceive you, this is surprisingly heavy. Like, if I were to drop this on my foot right now, damage would be done. But if you're looking for chargers for old like CyberShot cameras and stuff like that, or plugs, this is typically gonna be where you find it. I needed a 12-volt adapter to set up some lights in my office the other day, and I just came out to a thrift store like this and grabbed it. This I don't even have the slightest use for, but I want it so much.
That's like a cool little decoration.
It still works. Well, the dial works, and it is impressively heavy. It's definitely got some weight to it. $550 for a portable DVD player. I genuinely wonder.
Oh, I have one of those. I have one of those.
Stuff will be marked.
I had one of those when I was younger.
No longer
I used to watch Nemo a lot.
And some of it
I love
won't.
Nemo.
And so it's kind of a risk if you buy something from the junk section. But this here only requires 12 volts. So the chargers I have could work. I could have a DVD player just sitting on the table for absolutely no reason. I always end up coming back after the video and spending a good hour in the shop just picking stuff out and buying it. Like these here, these are counted as, I guess, games that nobody would want to buy, so they're super cheap, but they typically actually still work. Like, this is a Tamagotchi game, and they've got it for $1. It's like, come on. This game you are guaranteed to find in basically every thrift store bin across Japan. Don't know why, it is just always available. But again, like, if you wanted to come out and get yourself something like an old Nintendo Super Famicom controller. Look at that. Even if it doesn't work, it'd still make a nice accessory, and that is amazing. NLS wireless controller.
Whoa.
For $550. Died 100%. I'm gonna hide that at the back because we are coming back for that today, and all of the networking equipment as well. I actually set up a good portion of my office's network using stuff from movies, TV shows.
That's a lot of stuff. Pay that. Junk. Oh, I paused it.
Repair and use it. Use it as parts. Use it as the parts of your machine. Aren't these the last two kind of the same? There's an entire junk computer section here as well. Look at this. An old Victor video movie camera for $500. In Hobby Off is by far my favorite.
Whoa.
When you look around, everything here, every Japanese toy just reminds
toys.
me of 90s.
I love toys.
It just brings back that 90s vibe.
Whoa.
And I love absolutely everything about it.
Whoa.
Get these old Beyblades and whatnot.
Beyblades.
I have not seen or played with Beyblades in far too long. I think it's time to bring it back. Got all these little figures for like 100 yen each. Anytime that you end up with walls and walls of figures like this, it's really hard not to get sucked in. Like what? I don't even know what this is. I have no clue.
Whoa.
It looks like some kind of rocket ship meets a gun meets. I have no clue. It opens up and it looks like there's two of them.
So cool.
You could do whatever that is with a friend. But
wow.
These videos, these thrift store videos, they're a great opportunity for me to not only show what's in the thrift store and do a bit of scouting,
I really want to
but they're also
so cool.
Incredibly almost stressful and distracting because there's so much
they got
I want to
anime figures,
do, and look at. Like for figure collectors, everything you could ever want is in these cases.
Gosh.
Now, when I turn it towards the cases, because of the lights that they have in them, it tends to get a little wonky like this. Some of these cases are gold mines though. Look at the Millennium Falcon there. I know it's not Japanese, but it's in great condition. And this little dude over here, look at him. Look at him.
Lego Optimus Prime.
Some of it does come at quite the cost though. Like this highway patrol car here for 7,700 yen. That's
whoa, that's a lot of smackaroonies.
Really tempted to grab this here. The Decepticon.
Whoa.
And coming back to what I was saying before about the 90s vibe that you get off of stuff, this reminds me of all the Transformers and like Beast Wars toys. I don't know if you ever had Beast Wars toys back in the 90s.
I don't know what that is.
I loved them with my brothers. But this here, Transformers Universe.
Whoa.
4,400 yen for this. And seemingly worth every penny. It is in beautiful condition. And then you get into here. Oh my god, there's so many Transformers toys. This aisle is a little crowded. It's mostly figures, and I tend to blow by figures because I don't know that much about them. But coming around the corner here, I have a little bit of an admission to make. So I just took a trip back to Canada to see my family. And while I was there, I kind of fell in love with Pokemon cards, as I found a huge set of my collection and my brother's collection of Pokemon cards. And now
that's a lot of cards.
The foil Charizard here in Japan is actually moderately cheap. That's only 33,000 yen for a foil Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
Charizard. That is the word. It's right there, Tom. Just say it.
Oh my gosh.
That one's 2,200 yen.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my
Not as
gosh.
good condition.
What else they got?
Prices, but
a lot of Pokemon cards.
All of that.
Oh my gosh.
Is completely bonkers.
Whoa.
That's at least like 2 starter decks right there. What? Okay, it's just. I thought this was like a full starter deck set. It's an empty box. No, this is obvious. In Japan,
a lot of Pokemon cards.
About 1,000 yen to get Jinsei game, but pretty much every Japanese person knows this game.
I don't know it.
The game of life, the Monopoly of Japan.
I don't know that game.
There you go. I've never had the chance to play a board game with any of my Japanese friends though, and I got really distracted by this squishy Pokeball here. Okay, I gotta get out of here. Okay, so also speaking of Pokemon, there are these, and I don't know if these exist overseas at all. Wow, that is a huge bag of them.
The hell?
This is for like a Pokemon game that's available at some game centers and shopping centers and whatnot.
Pokemon
where kids sit down,
Star?
they put their collections up and they battle and they get new cards or tokens or medallions or whatever you want to call them. And I don't know if this exists overseas, but if you've ever seen it, let me know. Right near the entrance, you have the retro case right here, which has amazing stuff like these guys right here. All the retro Ninja Turtle stuff, ranging from 3,300 yen up to 5,500 yen, probably beyond. Lots of old retro Japanese toys. I find myself insanely tempted by these little guys here. There's just something about this that makes me want to start a collection in the studio of tiny little plastic figures. But also, if that's not enough for you, they also have a full collection of Tamagotchi stuff.
Oh,
here,
those are so cool. I don't know those.
As low as 1,100 yen all the way up to 11,000 yen. But these retro cases are probably the ones that hold the strongest pull for me. A while back while I was in Kyoto, I actually found an Astro Boy or Atom figure that I absolutely loved and grabbed, and later found out that he could open up and his chest lights up and everything. His batteries are dead, and I have yet to pick up the screwdriver that I need to repair him. I'll have to do that at some point. But this is the one thing I'm trying the hardest not to buy right now. This little R2-D2-esque Tamagotchi. Our last floor of the day is also hobby off. Everything from the RC model cars, plastic models. Let's go in and check it out. Also huge thanks to the staff here, who are always insanely kind and accepting in every single haunt-off that I go to of me recording. I have literally never had trouble once. But speaking of trouble, this is the kind of floor where you run into trouble. There is so much stuff to look through here. It would take me forever and a day to go through all of this. There's definitely something in amongst all of this that I want. Like if I actually end up starting that little plastic toy collection in the studio, I can assure you that it's gonna happen in a place like this. Like look at the little Master Roshi. You can't tell me that you don't want the little Why does he not have a price? Master Yoshi should have a price. He squeaks too. Oh, okay, there's I'm gonna be leaving here with a giant bag of stuff. I don't think I've ever actually left after one of these thrift store videos and not had more stuff that I can carry home at once. Like the way everything shifted when I did that.
Hello Kitty life game.
So hopefully this isn't gonna all come falling down. We will be okay. We'll likely be okay. And then plushies and whatnot.
Whoa!
Here.
Minion.
So
Minion.
many model kits. And I was actually really surprised to find out that some of these RC cars get insanely expensive, like thousands and thousands of dollars for these. And the
You want to buy the plushies really quick. The plushies want to buy.
Will likely.
These are the plushies.
And then plushies
Minion
and whatnot over here. There are so survival games, and have been thinking of putting that together, like just doing a day with her and turning it into a big adventure. What do you think? On top of that, there is an entire set of very specialized recycle shops or thrift stores, just like this one in the Akihabara area. I'm thinking of putting all of those together into so much, and I will see you again.
That's so cool. So much cool stuff there, man. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Jotaro. Deal. The G-Man. Me when I become the G-Man. Behind the back rooms. Linked Reawakening. Ghost Stories. William Afton. Bro. Oh, I think we end stream there then. I think Shotty's like, oh, we got to end. I got work tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okie dokie, woman. IG. I guess we can end it. That was fun. We just had a little, silly little YouTube night. Just because Shotty's got a little work tomorrow. Me, I'm straight chilling. I don't know. I'll probably play Breath of the Wild for a couple hours in bed. Later. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. My stomach kinda hurt. Goddamn, I have to go to the bathroom. After the stream, I end the stream. Tomorrow. What should we play tomorrow? Tomorrow we're definitely not playing a game, but like, what should we play tomorrow? Tomorrow, I think. Damn, my stomach's hurting. I think we should play either a scary game or Cult of the Lamb, because I kind of want to finish that game. Oh yeah, my stomach's hurting. Hoo-hoo. Oh yeah. Oh, the food's coming back to me. Alright. Tomorrow we'll probably do either Cult of the Lamb or Skyrim. Cult of the Lamb, Skyrim, or a horror game. That's tomorrow. For sure. We'll stream every single day. Alright, I'm gonna stream out, y'all. I really gotta. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna stream, y'all. I'm gonna stream.